Hello electric car lovers, in this channel I cover all the latest tech news surrounding electric cars. I cover the background, feel and drive, the current selling price, and the specs and engineering that go into making each car. If you have an electric car that you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments below. Today we're going to be talking about the most famous Tesla Model X. Oh, and one more thing before we start. Did you hear about the guy who bought an electric car and got it wrecked just after he left the dealership? He turned over a new leaf. Okay, now back to the video. The brand was named Tesla because it uses what's now known as Tesla's induction motor and inverter combination, which give it a unique set of qualities. Invented more than a century ago by the American-Serbian scientist Nikola Tesla. The induction motor uses a three-phase alternating current in the coil to produce a rotating magnetic field. The rotating magnetic field, or RMF, induces a current on the rotor that helps make it spin. In an induction motor, the speeds depend on the frequency of the alternating current supplied. So, up the frequency and the speed at which the motors turn can be increased, and that makes controlling the drive speed easy. The induction motor, importantly, has no permanent magnet. The Tesla Model X is a vehicle that is unlike any other SUV on the market. It's not just the exterior and interior. The propulsion system, the doors, the seats, or a slew of other equally ridiculous and entertaining aspects. Let's begin with the layout. The Model X, unlike other SUVs, features a low front or bonnet to reduce drag. The skinning is spotless and the big daytime running lights really stick out. The front aperture is small since there's no need for a lot of airflow through the cowl and no huge radiator. According to Tesla, this contributes to the X becoming the world's first, most slick SUV. The drag coefficient is only 0.25 CD. The cabin's tucked in and tight-fitting nature also plays a role. Then there's the super slick underfloor and the way the airflow around the tight-fitting wheels has been managed. The Tesla X's design around the back is more BMW X6-like with a fastback rear. The taillights, on the other hand, are quite conventional and appear to have been taken from someone else's parts bin for all intents and purposes. When you look at the X's posture, it's clear that it's not an off-roader. When the automobile is at its usual riding height, you must be cautious when passing over speed breakers. Fortunately, the air springs can elevate the automobile to a height of 211 mm, which is no small task considering the car's massive weight of 2.5 tons. A huge lithium-ion battery pack amounts for a significant portion of the weight. The larger battery pack weighs almost 600 kgs, more than twice as much as the standard engine and gasoline tank. Because all of the weight is distributed evenly between the wheels, the X is less top-heavy than most standard SUVs. Furthermore, its roof is obviously lower. The car is less than 1.7 meters tall, and weight has been reduced since the body is mostly constructed of extruded aluminum strengthened with boron steel. Then there's the fully motorized front doors and the unusual double-hinged falcon-wing rear doors, which open with such drama and pomp that you feel like you're departing a spacecraft hatch. It really pulls out your inner child. The Falcon doors are very useful, they're easy to get in and out of, and the way you can walk into the third row without having to squish down below the canopy is incredible. First and foremost, it has a bubble glass cockpit, similar to that of a helicopter. The glass curves all the way back and behind your head, and the X even includes magnetically attached helicopter-style sun visors. There isn't even a start button. No, I'm not kidding. When you get in and place your foot on the brake, the car comes to life. And if the driver's door is open, it closes automatically. All you have to do now is choose D for driving on the Mercedes-Benz style gear selection stalk. Step on the accelerator, not quite the gas pedal, and pull away. The cabin, like practically everything else aboard the Model X, is one of a kind. The large portrait infotainment screen dominates the dash almost completely. There's also a great sensation of spaciousness up front thanks to the panoramic windscreen. It's not only about having a sense of space, there's plenty of shoulder room up front, plenty of space in the rear with only 2 seats in the second row, and you can even sit comfortably in the third row if you're medium-sized. With no roof to duck under, ingress and egress into the back is also considerably more pleasant. Moreover, the 6-seat layout we have is a little strange. Individual seats in the second row aren't uniformly placed because the wide hinges and shroud for the falcon-wing doors that rest over your head. The space between the left and right seats is enormous. The dash design, while athletic and well-made, lacks the luxury build quality and materials richness of a BMW or a Porsche. Fit and finish aren't the same league either. Fortunately, it's the massive 17-inch screen that consumes all of your attention. The touchscreen feature is iPad-like, with satellite maps that display sumptuous textures and great contrast at full brightness. You can pinch and expand as quickly as you like, and the screen is swift and constantly with you. No latency is noticeable. While the fan and temperature settings are digital, the fact that they are located on a permanent bar at the bottom helps. I also appreciate the fact that you have access to a web browser. Other intriguing features on the screen include a real-time picture of a car when the doors close, the ability to see the seats move in real time as you adjust them from the screen, a sketchpad app for your kids, and of course, plenty more stuff to keep the kids occupied. Things like a panel that display your car's location on Mars. The automobile on screen may be transformed into a submersive Lotus E-Spirit from a James Bond film, and it can even show a Star Wars-style jump to lightspeed effect. Dreams of electricity. Performance. The Tesla or three-phase electric motors nestled between each axle power all Model X's with electric four-wheel drive. The power output of the 100D is 415 kW. However, a more powerful X is now available, with the new ludicrous mode, now dubbed Played mode, delivering 760 kW and a superbike matched 0 to 100 kph speed of 2.5 seconds. I have my doubts that Tesla intended to construct planes from the start. The first burst of acceleration from putting your foot down hard might push you back in your seat. The X ought to accelerate like it weighs nothing because the two motors provide so much torque and, more critically, so much traction. Shooting at a standstill is much more impressive. There's no drama or wheel spin. It just feels and seems like you're being shot forward from a bow, with the twin Tesla motors emitting a muffled whine in the background. What's especially remarkable is how nicely the traction control functions. It allows power to flow freely while preventing unnecessary wheel spin. Electric traction control systems can be cycled, that's turned on and off, significantly more quickly than mechanical traditional traction control systems. On the Model X, there are a few standard features. For starters, it has the same suspension as the Model S, with double wishbone in the front and multi-links in the back. It has off-the-shelf air springs, and it has twin boots, as do many electric cars. The performance isn't only impressive at rest, put your foot down at virtually any pace, and it will just reel in the horizon. Even when you're just driving around town, according to test drivers, the Model X is a pleasure to drive. It's torquey, smooth, and refined, obviously, and the power is really easy to measure when compared to other electrics. And more crucially, it doesn't always seem chomped at the bit. The all-electric edge won't endure forever. By 150 kph, some of the Model X's rivals begin to claw back the edge, and the rate of acceleration begins to drop down marginally. Tesla's calling card, though, is that sledgehammer-like initial torque in a velvet glove. Can you imagine what the Played version with 1020 horsepower would be like? There are several advantages to using electricity to power a car, but one of them is that the battery and motor combination weighs twice as much as a conventional engine and transmission. It's a little more difficult to manage the ride and handling trade-off as a result of this. Despite having air suspension, the Model X's ride is stiff, and you're thrown about a bit while driving over uneven terrain. Is there a better way to accomplish this? Sure, look at the Mercedes all-electric Benz's EQC, which rides like a Mercedes. Well, isn't that obvious? While the Model X handling is rather passive, it has excellent body roll control, and despite its size, feels light on its feet. Because the Model X's weight is distributed low in the chassis, it rolls less and more constantly than most other SUVs. When it comes to changing directions, this makes a tremendous impact. To Tesla's credit, you don't get a sense of the Model X's heft when driving. Still, this isn't a vehicle that encourages you to take corners harder and quicker. In fact, increasing the speed in turns make it seem a little uneasy. It surely isn't a Porsche Cayenne coupe. Battery life. Battery pack. It's similar to the one in the Model S, and it's available in 75 kWh, 90 kWh, and 100 kWh capacities in most areas. Tesla employs cylindrical cells which are similar to pencil cells in that positive and negative electrodes are layered and then rolled together. The various layers are kept separate by separators and casings. The inverter transforms the DC power from the battery pack to AC power for use by the induction motor. The motor speed is also controlled by the inverter. If the current amplitude is increased, the induction motor may create greater power, giving it a distinctive advantage. The long-range Model X can go 360 miles on a full charge, while the Played trim can go 340 miles according to Tesla. A 120 or 240 volt power outlet may be used to charge the Model X at home. Another option is to purchase the Tesla wall connector or another charging station from a third party. You may use one of Tesla's supercharger stations while on the road. A standard converter allows you to utilize J1772 public charging stations, and a CHAdeMO adapter is also available. Tesla superchargers can recharge vehicles up to 175 miles in 15 minutes. It would take roughly an hour and a half to fully charge. It'll take roughly 18 hours to fully charge using a 240-volt home power outlet. A battery's life is influenced by a variety of factors, making it difficult to predict how long it will survive. A Tesla battery, on the other hand, is expected to last between 300,000 and 500,000 miles. When you're not driving your Tesla, keep it hooked into a charger and get the most out of the battery. The battery is covered by Tesla's guarantee for 8 years or 150,000 miles. Price and model range. The Model X long range has a starting price of $89,990. The Porsche Cayenne e-Hybrid has a base price that is far and away the highest in the luxury hybrid and electric SUV segment. The performance model of the Plaid begins at $119,990. Although Tesla vehicles are no longer eligible for federal tax credits, state incentives may still be available. What makes the Model X unique and genuinely refreshing is that it's so different. The falcon-wing doors play a big role, the unique seating position is clever, and then the big touchscreen has so much tech packed in it, it should make for a great user experience. This wraps up the review of the Tesla Model X. Thank you for sticking it out through the very end of this video. Nothing helps out my channel more than y'all watching the entire video. These videos take a long time to make and is a labor of love. If you'd like to see my channel grow, please help spread the word, and until next time, remember, the best experiences aren't about where you end up, but who you're lucky enough to be on the journey with.